Hello everybody. Welcome to Math 206.5. This is Intermediate Algebra and Pre-Calculus, and I am your professor, Professor Elizabeth Jaffe. And I will be working closely with all of you throughout this semester. So first let me introduce you to the class, and then we'll be going through some work on Blackboard so that you learn how to use it and how it's organized specifically for this class. So let me begin by saying this is actually a very exciting math class because it's one of the first times where you get to see more complex math applied to the world around you. And it's not just about how you use that math, but it's being able to recognize it whenever you see it. So for example, if you look at a water fountain, any water fountain, a drinking fountain, the fountains outside the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the fountains outside City Hall, every single one of them you will see form a parabola, which is a quadratic function. Okay, no matter what water fountain it is, it will always be quadratic. Anytime that you throw an object into the air, it's quadratic. Any sound that you hear is trigonometric, which may be a word that you're not familiar with right now, but it's a word you're going to become very familiar with at the end of this class. We study exponential functions. If any of you have bank accounts, you're going to be very interested in exponential functions because that's how a bank account works. If we think about how quickly gossip spreads or rumors spread through the internet or even not on the internet. Those are logarithmic functions. So you're going to be studying lots and lots of things that all of a sudden you're going to understand a little bit better, and it's going to open your eyes up to this very, very new world from a very different perspective that you never considered before. In addition, you already do math every single day. You all live in New York City, or most of you live in New York City if we have any online people who just take online classes. And when you live in New York City, when you cross streets, you jaywalk, you cross against the light all the time. This is actually a really complicated function because you're doing calculus. Yes, you're doing calculus. Even when you were a little kid off to junior high school, you were doing calculus. And not only were you doing calculus, but you were doing it mentally in your head in a matter of seconds, because we have two moving objects. We have the car and we have you, and you have to make a split-second decision to determine, can you step off the curb and cross the street without the car hitting you? So you're thinking about how long it takes you to cross the street, how long it takes the car to move, and these are moving objects. This is calculus. Okay. Even when you take the train, do you take an express? Do you take a local? Which lines do you take? How long would you be waiting for a train in order for it to make it worth your while, as opposed to taking a different route to wherever you're going? So all of you have been doing math for a very long time. All we're going to do is we're going to put it on paper. So keep in mind that every one of you is capable of succeeding in this class. That said, this is an 8-hour class. If we were to meet face to face, the class time itself would be 8 hours. Then you would also be getting assignments. You would be studying for quizzes. You would be meeting with me in office hours. In this class, it's online. You will get approximately 4 to 5 hours of video every week. And then you will also get problem sets to help reinforce that material. And you'll get mini quizzes and discussions. We'll be creating a community in this class. If you are not prepared to spend 8 to 10 hours this semester, then you should think about withdrawing now. Okay, so it is a lot of work. Most of that work I hope that you're going to enjoy and get a lot out of. And I know that for a lot of you, this is a required class. But if you feel like you would be better off breaking this class up into 2 classes over 2 semesters, Math 56 and then Math 206, then feel free to do that. Okay, so just to prepare you, I do expect at least 8 to 10 hours per week of work. Okay, that said, let's keep going. Let's talk a little bit about how this class will work throughout the semester. First, it is asynchronous. So just in case you're still not familiar with that, that means that there are no live sessions. There are no live Zoom sessions. I will have some. They will be optional, so they are not required. They will not cover all of the material. They cover what I would consider to be the most complex material, the hardest to learn from a video, but they are not required. Okay, so this is entirely, you are learning entirely through videos that I created. Okay, so they're very specific to the material. You're not being sent all over the internet. You will watch approximately 4 to 5 videos per week. And in addition to that, you're going to have problem sets that will be due every Friday at midnight. Okay, you can hand them in earlier if you want, but they will be due on Friday at midnight. After that, they'll be considered late. You will also be participating in discussions. This will help us build a community in our classroom, so you'll get to know each other that way. And some of your problem sets might be group problem sets, okay? And not all of them, and we will figure out an efficient way. I'm not going to penalize you if you wind up in a group that really isn't working. You'll just let me know, and we'll take it from there, okay? And in addition to that, you'll have weekly mini quizzes, and then you'll have larger unit quizzes. So while we're talking about this, let's go into Blackboard and see where you go to find all of this information. So when you go in, you're going to see your announcements first. So you can see the initial announcement, and you can see that the menus, I'm asking you to look to the menus to the left, and you're going to see one at the very top right under announcements that's labeled Start Here. This is your introduction to the class. This is a great place for you to start and for you to return to every time that you're having some trouble understanding what you need to do. Okay, so let's start. So introduction to Blackboard is this video. An introduction to me is, I'll talk about this a little bit later because this will be your first assignment, but it's a PowerPoint slides that introduce you to me, your professor. So it tells you a little bit about me so that you get to know me, because we don't really have this opportunity not meeting face to face. Then there's the course syllabus and the course schedule. So the course syllabus, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. You're going to have to read it. I just want to show you the very important parts. So you can see here the grade distribution. So you're going to have a final examination, which is worth 30% of your grade. Your discussions and your blogs are worth 8%. Now, I know that that doesn't seem like a lot, but this could be the difference between an A and a B. Okay, 8 points can count for a lot, and the discussions and the blogs are a great way for you to get to know each other. Then you're going to have unit quizzes. So your unit quizzes altogether are 30%. I will drop your lowest unit quiz if you're doing all of your homework. So if you're missing a lot of homework or the homework is late, then I will not drop that lowest quiz. Then you're going to have mini quizzes. Your mini quizzes will be given through Blackboard. They will be 10 questions each. And they're all multiple choice, and this is a way for you to take a quiz to reinforce the material and make sure that you understand the material. You'll get 2 tries, and I'll take your highest of the 2 grades. Then you're going to have problem sets. Your problem sets are worth 10%. You'll have 1 or 2 problem sets a week. Usually if you have 2 problem sets, it's because one of them is a group problem set. So there will be like 4 or 5 of those group problem sets per week. And I will try and inform you ahead of time that you will be working with a group so that you can set up a meeting with your group beforehand. And I'll go through that just a little bit with you at the end of this video. Then you're going to have 2 projects. Again, this is worth 8% of your grade. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that 8% can mean the difference between an A and a B, or an F and a pass, okay? And then finally you have your participation grade. And all this is you're logging into Blackboard, you're contributing to the different aspects of the class. This is an easy 4%. Again, this can be the difference between passing and failing. It can be the difference between an A and an A minus, okay? And if you have any questions about any of this at any point during the semester, you can always send me an email. All of your grades will be posted in Blackboard, so you'll be able to see those. And then at the end of the semester, what I will do is before you take your final exam, I'll give you some idea as to how much, what grade you need on your final exam in order to pass the class. So in terms of passing the class, as I said, this is 2 classes combined. It's Math 56 and Math 206.5. In order to pass the class, you need to receive a 70% or higher as your overall grade in the class. So not on your final, but as your overall grade. That's a C minus. If you are not getting a C minus or above, then you will fail Math 206.5. Now you will still have the opportunity to pass Math 56 by taking the final exam, their final exam. And if you get a 70 or above on that departmental final, that's a departmental final. If you get a 70 or above on that departmental final, then you will place out of Math 56 and you will be able to take Math 206 next semester. Okay? So again, in order to pass Math 206.5, you need to have a C minus or above in the class. We do not give out D's in this class. That is true for every Math 206.5 class. Okay? No matter who's teaching it, this is the case. Okay? Okay. The next thing that we said you'll see is the course schedule. So this is what the course schedule currently looks like. It is subject to change, but it gives you some idea as to what the semester will look like. So you can see week 1. I know week 1 really has only 1 day in it. So your assignments for week 1 will actually be due at the end of next week. So they'll be due on Friday, February 5th at 11:59 p.m. I would suggest that you don't wait until then to do the assignments because as you can see next week, which is week 2, you will have 2 problem sets and you do have 3 videos to watch. So I'm giving you some extra time to do it so that you have through the weekend and through the week to kind of get situated to the class. But I am posting this early so you can also get a head start, okay, before the 29th. So you can see here you have the videos that you need to watch for the week. You have your problem set, so you can see that next week you will have a group problem set to do. So I will be assigning you groups. And eventually, if you are meeting people in the class and there's a group that you really want to join, that's fine too, okay? And then these are discussions that you might have to do. And then these are other assignments. So you can see that most of the time it's just a mini quiz, okay? So here this week, you need to get familiar with Blackboard, watch this video, scroll through the different things that you have on Blackboard. And then there's a very, very brief introduction survey. It'll take you less than 5 minutes. It's to help me get to know you and what your needs are, okay? It's not very personal with the exception of one question, which you can choose to or not to answer, but it gives me an email address that you check. It tells me if I should be doing shorter videos, but more of them, or longer videos, less of them. And then there's also a brief reading on mindset. So take a few moments and read that in addition to the 2 discussions, which we'll talk about. Okay. The following week, you're going to have 3 videos. We start with linear equations, linear functions. There will be 2 problem sets and then a mini quiz. So you can see that you have a mini quiz pretty much every week. You Sometimes we'll have a mini quiz before a major unit quiz. Sometimes you won't. You can see here that you do have your first quiz is going to be on February 23rd. So all of your major quizzes will be on Tuesdays. They will be posted at 10 a.m. and then they will be due by 7:30 p.m. So they're essentially like take-home quizzes. Okay. Occasionally you'll see this blog entry. You see that you'll have a project due, which will be assigned soon within the first 2 or 3 weeks of class. You'll have a project due on March 12th. And then you can see sort of through here all of the different videos that you need to watch. And this no longer exists. Sorry about that. That was from last semester. And sometimes you'll have discussions to do. So this gives you a basic idea. Right now, your final is scheduled for Thursday, May 20th. Again, this is subject to change. And anytime that it changes, you will see in here, you can see updated 123. So you can sort of go here and visit this every once in a while to make sure it wasn't updated. But if I do update it, I will give you an announcement. Okay, so that's our introduction. Kind of forgot that we have our course syllabus and schedule. I'm putting this in here so that if you re-watch this tape and you only want to see part of it, okay, you only care about, oh wait, I don't know how to find the course textbook, you can easily find it because you'll see this screen up here, and this tells you that we're going to talk about the course textbook next. So let's find the course textbook. So right under the start here, you will see course textbook. If you click on that, this is the textbook that we will be using. So you do not need to go out and buy a textbook. Okay, this is an open educational resource, meaning the whole textbook is online. Okay, we will be using 2 textbooks for this class. This is the one that we're going to be looking at most, this Math 206.5 OER textbook. And you'll see that the first 4 chapters are here. There will be a 5th chapter. Okay, so the only thing that will not be covered in this OER textbook that you see here is trigonometry. So if we go back to course textbook and we click on this one and you see attached files, okay, you can go here and you will see chapter 6 and 7 material will be in this textbook. And that's really only trigonometry, okay? You'll also see this Math 206.5 workbook. And these chapters coincide with the OER textbook. These don't give answers. They're simply giving you lots and lots and lots of different practice problems. So for those of you who really learn by doing, go in here and do the practice problems. And you can always send them to me. I can tell you if you're on the right track. We can go over it during office hours or some sort of synchronous session. Okay. And then finally, the last thing I want to show you in these top menus is the faculty contact information. So this is me. This is my email. I will get back to you hopefully within 24 hours. Usually I'm much faster than that because I'm always checking my email, but I would say definitely within 24 hours. This is my work phone. Obviously I'm not in my office, but if you call that number and you leave a message, I will get the message, okay? The office location, obviously it's online. I will be using Blackboard Collaborate for office hours, but we may or may not switch to Zoom depending on how familiar you are with Zoom, okay, and Blackboard Collaborate. Right now, office hours are to be announced. That's because in the initial survey that you fill out, I try and get an idea as to when you might be able to meet and when it's most convenient. And then also, if you can't make my office hours, then you can just send me an email and we will meet by appointment, okay? Okay, weekly assignments. So let's talk about where to find your work. So you can see under course content, right now you just see week 1. Next week, you'll see week 2 right under week 1. So you will always have access to all of the material. If you look at week 1, it's going to look very similar. All of your weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, they all look very similar. The first thing that you'll see are your videos. So you'll see the introduction to Blackboard, which is this video here. Okay, so it'll be posted in several places. And then you'll see the very first video, which is about order of operations. And underneath the videos, any content videos, you'll see board notes, okay? And the board notes are if you're having trouble streaming your video, this is everything that gets written down, okay? I can show you what it looks like. So this is everything that gets written down during the video. I don't recommend that you only look at these, okay? But if you are having a lot of trouble streaming a video, this at least tells you what was written in that video, okay? After videos, there are assignments. So this is everything that is due, okay? And everything that is due, a short survey, okay? Again, maybe 5-10 minutes for you to complete. Here are your 2 growth mindset readings that you saw in the course schedule. These are very short chapters, okay? These questions are just things for you to think about as you read. And then you have 2 discussion entries that are due. So when we go through the discussion board, I'll show you this. But essentially, the first one is just to introduce yourself. So you can do it through a voice thread. If you know how to use that, you can do a PowerPoint, you can do a Prezi, you can do a video. Keep the video pretty short. You're just giving us very basic information about yourself. I would say use the slides that I give you about myself to help you figure out what you should write. And then you're going to have a second discussion entry when I show grit. And you're going to add to these discussions, both of these discussions, okay? So how do you do that? How do you add to a discussion board? So if you have 2 ways of doing that. You can either click on the discussion, okay, on the discussion assignment. That's going to take you immediately to the discussion board. So you can see the different discussion boards already here. The other way to do it is you can see under course content on the left, you can see discussion board, and you can click on that and it takes you to the same place. So let's take a look at this discussion board. The first discussion that you see at the very bottom is Q&A for mathematics content. This is general questions about the videos that you watch. If you're looking at the order of operations video and you're really confused, post to this discussion, okay? So all you do is you click on the discussion. For discussions like this, you're going to want to subscribe, okay? So you're going to click on subscribe, and what that does is it'll send you an email every time that there's a new posting. And because this is kind of general and you're absolutely going to want to know that there's a new posting right away, I would subscribe to this discussion. And the way that you post is you click on create thread. You name your thread. So you can say question about lines. And then you just type in your question. Okay, you can attach a file to the question. So if you want to say, okay, I didn't understand this about the video, and you're gonna either you want to attach, maybe a scanned sheet that you have that you wanted to show me in order to help explain what you didn't understand. That's fine. And then you just click on submit. Now let's say that you look at this and you see, oh, hey, I know the answer to this. So you're a student, you look at this, you know the answer, and you want to answer. So this is part of your participation grade if you can answer these questions. You click on reply. You type in what you think the answer is. So anything that has a constant rate of change. And then you would just click on submit. And now anybody who clicks on a thread will see the reply as well. Okay, and I will go in and check these. So if somebody replies to you and they're incorrect, I will change it. I will clarify. Okay. So that's your first discussion. This will be here throughout the semester, so you can use this at any time. Then there's question and answer about class logistics. So this might be more, okay, well, I really don't know when the project is due. Can you tell me? Or can you explain this about the project? Or I'm working with a group. How do I set up a meeting? Things like that. Okay. If it's personal, then send me a personal email. But if you feel like other people in the class might be having the same problem, then please, again, just click on the discussion, start a new thread. Okay. Subscribe to this. So you'll want to subscribe to this one too, and create a thread and ask your question. These top two is your homework assignment for this week. So the first thing that you're going to go to is the introduce yourself, and you can see this is the description of the discussion over here. This is your assignment. So you're going to tell us about yourself. There's a lot of freedom in what you choose to include here. These are just some examples. You know, what is your background? Do you like mathematics? What scares you? What excites you? Some fun facts, anything that you want, as long as it's appropriate for an educational setting. Okay. And you can submit a PowerPoint, you can do a video. Feel free to reply to your classmates. So if you saw an introduction that you thought was really cool, or you have something in common, maybe you went to the same elementary school as somebody, you can reply to them. Okay. And you can see here, I already posted to this discussion. That's why you see one post. I don't know why you're not seeing it. I think it's because I am in it's because I'm in student mode, but you will see it. Okay. And then same thing here when I show grit. So this will be based on a little bit on the readings. And grit is perseverance and resilience. It's the idea that everybody has grit at some point in their lives. And I want you to tell us when you've had grit in the past. And it doesn't have to be academic grit. It could be grit because, putting on makeup in the morning is really hard, but you have to do it. So anything that you want to include, and you can see this is my first entry. So if you want to read my entry, you just click on it and then you can reply. Okay. Or you can create your own thread. These you don't necessarily need to subscribe to. Okay. Okay. So that's the discussion board. So the last thing I'm going to show you in this particular intro is how to use Blackboard Collaborate. So I prefer Blackboard Collaborate because you don't need to keep track of everything of a Zoom link. Okay. It worked okay last semester. If it becomes a problem, then I'll send out a Zoom link that you can always go to. So I use Blackboard Collaborate for office hours and for any optional synchronous sessions. It's easy to use. You just click on Collaborate. And then this is our official course room. So it's unlocked. You can always go in. If you go in when it's not office hours, it means I'm not going to be there. Okay. If it's not a scheduled session or office hours, I'm not going to be there. You click on course room and then you can dial in if you're having trouble with your audio, and you just click on join course room and it'll bring you into Blackboard Collaborate. If I'm here, you'll see me in here. okay? And during office hours, typically, I see it says you're the only one in the room, okay? During office hours, typically, I will start with my camera off and my mute button on, but you can feel free to just say something, because I will hear you. Okay, so I'll know that you're there, and I'm in front of my computer. It's just that this way, if somebody walks into the room, it makes it a little bit easier. So I'll turn my camera on and my mic on as soon as I see somebody in there. Okay. And finally, you'll see over here quiz materials, projects, final exam materials. This is going to be empty until there's actually a quiz that I'm giving you. So your quizzes will be posted here. Quiz review sheets. So you get a review sheet for every unit quiz. You'll get a review sheet that you can use to study. And projects, again, as soon as I assign that first project, you'll see it under here. Final exam materials, you're not going to see for a while, but I left it in there so that you know that it's coming, okay? For groups, you'll see at the bottom, okay? You'll see the group that you're in. So you're not going to create a group yet. I will create the first group. And you'll see who's in the group. You'll see a Blackboard Collaborate link, so that if you want to meet and you don't want to have a separate Zoom, because I know some of you may not have access to Zoom if I don't give you a room to meet in, you can go to Blackboard Collaborate. There will be a Collaborate button. You can go there and you can meet together, and it's your own private room, okay? And to check your grades, you can see under Tools, you'll see My Grades. Okay, so these are the things that you would be waiting to get graded. And as soon as it's graded, you'll see your grade here, okay? Discussions and blogs are out of 8 points. So this introduce yourself and when I show grit is out of 8 points. The survey is just, yes, you completed it, okay? And homework, you'll see problem sets are always out of 5 points. And I will take off points if it's incomplete. If it's incomplete, you only get a 3 out of 5. If it's complete, you'll get a 5 out of 5. So I don't grade based on correctness, I grade based on completeness. And if an assignment is late, I do take off points for late assignments. You cannot hand them in whenever you want. You will get points off. So if a problem set is due on Friday at 11:59 p.m. and you hand it in on Saturday or Sunday, I will accept it, I will grade it, I will give you feedback, but you may only get a 4 out of 5. If it's much later, it'll go down to a 3 out of 5, and if it's much later, it'll keep going down, okay? So please don't hand in things late unless there is an extenuating circumstance. And if there's an extenuating circumstance, please, please, please email me. I can't read your minds, okay? So send me an email. So that's it for now. You will see that when you do have your first problem set, I will include a short video. This one is much longer because I'm introducing you to the class, but I will give you a very short video that just shows you how to submit an assignment on Blackboard, just in case you've never used it for a class before. Okay, so anytime that there's something new that you have to do, I will include a short video, 2 minutes, okay, 2 to 3 minute video. And that's it. So welcome to the class. I look forward to reading all of your introductions. I'm very excited to meet, quote unquote, meet all of you. And I think that we're going to have a really great semester. And if there's something that's really not working for you, again, send me an email. I'm willing to make changes. You'll see every once in a while there will be a survey that says, okay, how are things going? So please be open and honest with me about any problems that you're having. I look forward to working with all of you.